Recording. What is
How's it
up,
going?
E-man?
Had to steal my spotlight.
You
The one
I,
thing I do that's consistent between every episode is how's
I,
it going?
I didn't even finish my hello to you. This great
I
evening,
don't.
afternoon,
I
whatever.
I simply just do not care though
I
because
think you stole my
I
spotlight, actually.
really
Yup, yup,
you're gonna go there
yup.
because everybody knows. Second, you say recording. I say
Do they though?
say
Do they?
yes.
Do they though? Mm,
Yo, let
who
me tip
who's
somebody.
stronger pound for pound here? So I automatically win the conversation. Um,
Like, you want
Actually,
to
no. I think
calculate?
I think you're stronger pound for
You,
pound.
you, you want to calculate?
Wait, no, wait. How much more bench do you do than your body weight?
Uh,
I only do 10 pounds more than my body weight.
-25.
I'm stronger pound for pound. That means I automatically win every conversation from
Okay.
here on out.
So how about let's bring it to squats, shall we?
I actually don't know my PR squat. We shouldn't wait. Hold on. We shouldn't even talk about crazy like fitness stuff because I'm sure most of our audience. Okay, this is not like a offensive thing to everybody here, but it's like I'm sure I'm not okay. Really bad phrasing, off to a bad start here, but no offense to anybody. I'm not 100% sure how many of our demographic that watch our videos, like the 20, 30 people that do on a consistent basis. Thank you. I don't know how much of you guys actually work out. So, yeah. But I feel like from here on out, me and E-Man, when it's just a solo podcast like this, I feel like it's most likely maybe 5 to 10% of the episode. So anywhere between 5, 10 minutes, maybe even a whole episode one day is gonna be revolved around fitness because E-Man from I want to say yeah he was in athletics throughout entire middle school, and then he joined powerlifting in high school. So he's been working out slash lifting for a good amount of time. I want to say about a year, 2, 3. I have only been like crazy consistent for like 6 months, and although I know a decent amount in terms of nutrition and what exercises work out certain muscles, I'm not that crazy accurate. I'm not that crazy accurate about like everything as a whole.
Right. Yeah, I was like calling my dad
Yeah.
because what's it called?
I was
My
stalling.
sister's going away for yeah, that was so bad though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What's it called? My sister just left for college, and so like I'm here with my dog, making sure he's all right and stuff.
Yeah. Make sure he doesn't fart.
Okay. No, he has silent farts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I was just stalling about what we were just talking about, and I was saying some type of shenanigans about lifting. How long have you been working out, E-Man?
I think competitively or like seriously working out,
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
like only 1 year. But like if I'm counting in total, like using weights,
Mm-hmm.
like 3, 4. But that was just like
Oh, I was like,
so I wouldn't get weak during off season.
yeah,
Not really like to get stronger though. Just because it was like middle school lifting. No, nobody really took it seriously,
yeah,
except like nobody.
yeah.
But yeah,
I don't think anyone does, and if they do, they're probably gonna grow up to be under like 5'8" because their spines must be going through a lot. Oh, hold on. I gotta talk about what type of shenanigans we're gonna do with this episode.
what?
Last episode, part one, was recapping the first half of our freshman year, start of school to about winter break, and a little bit of what was happening in the summer. This episode, part two, is just gonna be winter break all the way up to now. So it's just free range about whatever. We're not gonna have like topics to go off of unless there's like a dead point. So that's about what's gonna happen today.
Sir.
Okay,
Okay.
do you want to
Right.
start it with something,
Uh,
or I got it?
yeah, you got it. You got it. I want to save mine, just cause it's mad early for it.
Yep. Oh, I think this is one of the fastest podcasts we've done because we DM'd each other like 20 minutes ago and now we're starting. Usually we just yap a dap for a good like anywhere between 30 minutes to 40 before we actually start the
We do.
episode.
Yeah.
But we got straight to the bizwax today, and that's why the first 6 minutes so far has been really boring.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I'll just
I guess
hold on,
I'll just.
hold on. I don't want you to say,
Okay.
I don't want you to say the thing you're gonna say.
Okay.
I'm just gonna talk about what I did over winter break. During winter break was when I semi started to work out, kind of for funsies here and there, because towards the beginning of the school year slash late summer, I started to skateboarding again. It was like my third phase of skateboarding in my life. It's just one of those sports where I fall in and out of it because I see like one YouTube video about it. I'm like, I could do that. And then I can't do it. So then I go back to the basics every time, relearning an ollie, which is basically just like a little hop on a skateboard where all four wheels come up. These are those shenaggle daggles, but it's like I learned how to do an ollie, and then skateboarding gets boring for me all over again, and I quit. So winter break for me was just learning an ollie, quitting skateboarding, and then starting to work out a little bit with Fook and sometimes Jaden. That was about it. Like my winter break summed up. And
I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember my winter break like that well. I didn't do anything meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think I might have went somewhere. I gotta scroll up in my photos to see if I did.
Bro, what?
I don't
How do
remember.
you? I do not remember. It was like
I just
7. That was about 8 months ago. 8 or 9.
oh yeah, I didn't go anywhere. I did go like this like winter wonderland type thing. It was beautiful. Like, so many pictures. Then I had apple pie, homemade apple pie. It was
Mhm.
fire.
You're gonna describe that
I
winter wonderland better?
Uh, a lot of lights.
Wow, wow, dude.
Like
That
a
is
lot
that
of
is the
lights.
same thing as asking someone how does the steak taste, and they say a lot of meat, a lot of meat. Like, wow,
It's
wow.
like they had, like
How was the homework? Hard. It was really hard.
it was definitely work. Like I kind of had to work hard. Some of the work was pretty easy, but work is work.
Okay, I'm going back to my winter break.
Fact.
A small canon event happened during winter break. This was the time when I finally started to make more friends in my classes slash like people from other schools that I've never met before and like no connections to. So it was just new people in general. And I ended up meeting this one girl, and we were hanging out a good amount. She was always offering, and I would always take it because I wasn't doing anything else. I wasn't, I didn't have a crazy amount of homework. I wasn't super committed to the gym yet. I didn't care that much about skateboarding. I just had kind of nothing going on at the time. So whenever she asked, I always said yes, sure, why not? those type of shabingo boggers, but
Okay, what is this?
what?
What are these words you're pulling out, bro?
What? What, man? Why?
Alright,
Why?
maybe I'm just
Hey,
maybe I'm
bro.
just
Yeah,
hallucinating.
yeah. You need to fix your dingleberry for real, bro.
$100%.
Your shabingo boggers aren't really working good.
Okay, who do you think you are?
Okay, well, let me continue my story, okay? So, where was I? Okay, E-Man's muted. I got the whole floor to myself. It was just like she would offer for me to come over or just hang out at our town center or just something in general. And like I said earlier, I would basically never deny unless I was already doing something with other people. And it was pretty consistent. Even during winter break, we would sometimes text each other and then do that. And then we would just make plans, do this and that. But one thing I didn't even notice until kind of later on, until after all these Shabingo Haggers happened,
Oh my
was
gosh.
what? Why are you complaining about my vocabulary?
I,
I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue to ignore that because
yeah,
I think
yeah.
you're hating.
I am, and for a good reason.
That's why you're not very Fortnite Battle Pass buddy. So I'm gonna continue with my story.
Okay. Okay.
This is why I can't talk to
Yeah.
girls. But I didn't notice it until way after, like literally a week ago, when first time we hanged out. It was a big group of friends, maybe 8 to 10, and then just slowly, over time, the more and more we hanged out, it was less and less and less people to where it was literally just me and her. And because of her, I also made a bunch of new friends because the people she would invite, I didn't know at all. So, from those experiences, met new people, awesome, learned some things like I can't remember, but yep. So,
Okay.
over time, those shenanigans started happening, and in the moment, I didn't realize anything. In my brain, I guess I kind of assumed like they were busy or something, and the hangouts started getting a little more personal per se. We were hanging out at each other's houses more, and like the first time, it was kind of weird because I didn't bring it up, but she did. She said, "Hey, can I come over and watch a movie?" I said, "Sure." I don't know. To me, it was just so random, but I don't know why I wouldn't deny. I got nothing to do. So those started happening, and you could say it was my fault for being clueless and not picking up the clues, I guess. But she ended up liking me, and it was awkward because sometime around Christmas, she gave me a present. It was a small box, like the size of your palm, all around, just a little box. And she said, "Here, I have a present for you." Now I'm gonna try to describe out the whole scene here. We were sitting on the floor in front of her bed, and she just handed it over to me. Cause before that, we were just watching just some kind of TV show, like some kind of cartoon kid show. I think it was SpongeBob, but it was something. It was something like that, and it was like an ad break, or she paused it. Like I remember it, but I don't really remember everything. But that's the general aspect. I'm really
Okay.
stretching this on.
Yeah, I'm. No, it's good. It's fine. Like, I'm interested.
It sounded like you just had a massive fart, but I know you just moved your chair.
I just
I
moved my chair.
yeah, I know you were just moving around in your chair. But whenever I opened the box and I looked down, I saw nothing. I said, "What?" And then I look up and she's trying to give me a smoochie. But I don't participate in those type of shebingle shenanigans, so I I didn't know what to do in the moment. All I knew is that I didn't want my first kiss to be with someone that I don't even like that. You,
Reciprocate.
huh?
Like you didn't feel the same way.
Yes, that is what you said.
Yeah.
Reciprocate. Cause
Yeah.
I
Except
heard
whenever I said it, it
I heard
was.
precipitation. It's like what?
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure that's what I said as well, but I gave up trying to say it again, so.
Yeah, I get what you mean though, but it was just so in the moment. I didn't know what to do. One thing I could tell you though is that I did not, you know, reciprocate the action. I just leaned in and gave her a hug because I didn't know what else I
Joking.
was gonna do. What else? What else was I supposed to do? Hold out my hand, open her eyes, and make her shake my hand and say I'm gonna skedaddle? Like, what I also didn't just want to, just sit there and then leaning in, and then realizing, I'm just kind of sitting there looking at her like she's a crazy person. Because it's like I said, it was so in the moment. And I don't know why she didn't just tell me or something, but I would assume in her mind she was so sure that I liked her too. But in our friend relationship, every time we hung out, I would almost never ask her. She would always ask me. Or like the one or two times I was planning to invite her to like one of my friend group hangouts,
Hmm.
I never got the chance. Cause then she would just invite me to one of hers. I'm like, sure. So
Can I later? Can you like tell me who this is?
no,
Or no?
no. She she did know. Okay, she was a person that's very mindful. So she knew, of course, I would tell people this story, all these all these tomfoolery, and she just told me, you could tell people, just don't tell anyone my name, no matter who it is. I said,
Okay,
sure.
I got you.
Matthew, my number one best friend, he doesn't even know who it is.
Got you.
Like a single person, every person, not every person. I shouldn't say that. That sounds really bad. Everyone that knows this happened, they don't know it was her from my standpoint. But I'm pretty sure like her friends obviously know.
We're gonna know that you're talking about her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like whenever school started, I had a lot of her friends asking me why. But I'll get back to that. Let me finish the whole scenery thing. That happened. I gave her a hug. And I'm kind of wearing a semi. Okay, I'm not. I'm just gonna say I'm wearing a t-shirt, and I feel it getting moist, and I realize she's crying. I hear like the sniffles, all of those. I feel so bad in the moment. I wanted someone to text me or call me, so I could say I have to skedaddle. Sorry, but that never happened. So we ended up just talking it out for a good like 20 minutes. And then I said, I think I should go and you should have some alone time. And she said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I left. I don't really know what happened after that. We're still cool, still friends, but I don't know, bro. That's, I guess you could say, how did I not know? Hanging out that often, one on one. But what do you think, E-Man?
That was a lot to unfold.
A lot of people said I led her on, but I truly didn't know in the first place.
Well, you can't be blamed if you really didn't know, but
Hmm.
at the same time, I feel like you should have known.
Exactly. That's what I thought too. I thought I should have known, but it's it's just like one of those things. I thought, like for example, Amy hung out with her a lot when we were kids. Not, I shouldn't say that. It's not like we're in our mid 20 or 30s. When we were a lot younger, we hung out a lot. But that
Hmm.
was it. We were just best friends. You know, I guess in the back of my head, because that happened with Amy, we were best friends, nothing more. I guess I might have assumed the same thing. Like this is just another situation like Amy. This is just a person that happens to be of the female gender that I'm going to be best friends with.
Hmm.
So, I don't exactly know what I was thinking in the moments of us texting or hanging out. All I know is that I never thought about it like that.
Right.
So, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, where do we go from this?
That was like the most exciting thing in my winter break. After, I'll just keep yapping until you could fill in.
Well, it's not even that. It's just that that was a lot to unfold.
Yeah, it's weird. Whenever I told one of my friends this, that are also of the female gender, she said, "Yeah, Alex, you're stupid." Cause even she knew the other girl liked me from just a third person perspective, like just seeing it happen. So
Yeah. I don't know what to say, but yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Your experiences, Eman. Any
Mine?
successes? That I didn't say that right. Any success with finding true love? I don't even know
Nah.
if you could call it true love, bro. We're
Mm,
too young.
school.
100% too young. But
I mean, no, not really. I didn't find any luck, but
no
I feel
shabinga
like
bobbers.
no Shabingo boggers.
Darn it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think I should be looking
Mm-hmm.
that much anymore. Just because sophomore year, not really. I mean, I think sophomore and junior year is like your most competitive time in terms of academics.
Academic prowess.
Yeah, so I think I should like lock in on that, and maybe senior year. Whenever I have the senior mindset of like
Oh,
I
to
no
find a
longer
freshman?
care. No, okay. You didn't have to do that.
You're not denying it.
I am denying it.
Oh, okay.
I think I am denying it clearly that
Double
if I
checking.
am a senior, I will not date a freshman.
I'm just looking out for you, man. I'm
That's
just
not.
making sure you're not on
Alex, promise me this.
what?
If I ever tell you I'm talking to a freshman, can you kill me or like
I'll punch you in your
brutally?
balls.
Yeah, that'll
That
work.
that's what I'm gonna do to Matthew. If I ever see him smoking or drinking, I said I'm gonna punch you in the stomach as hard as I can.
Reasonable crash out.
Yeah, I'll say that. Reasonable crash out. Seeing
Had
a
it
good
coming.
friend going down the wrong path.
Yeah, you had it coming.
Oh, that's a good segue. I'm gonna go into shenanigans and tomfoolery.
Part two. Part two.
Huh?
Part two.
Huh?
Part two to tomfoolery and shenanigans.
Oh, yes. I don't know why you cut out every time you said part. So it was just two, two, two. Okay, I'm gonna continue. It was I ended up going to a party this summer. I want to say it was in like the second month whatever month that was. Oh, last month. Last month around this same date, it was like at night. I need to talk quieter because my mother is in the vicinity of this room.
Oh, okay.
She's like
Thought
one
this
room
was
over.
secret information.
No, she's like one room over. I don't want her to like walk out and then hear me talking about this. I went to a party late at night. I had my parents' permission and everything. It was with some of my older friends. It was two sophomores and one junior. Junior was driving. He was designated driver. And whenever I got the text saying that, I was wondering, why do we need a designated driver? Because the other two sophomores that were in that car could also drive. So I was wondering why do we need that?
Designated driver always means that they're gonna get drunk.
Exactly. That didn't click in my head until the moment we arrive at the house. It's this big house. Like, did you ever watch 10 Reasons Why I Hate You? Is that the movie where like it's the dude with long hair?
I don't know, but I'm gonna say no. I've not watched it, so
10 Reasons.
I get it's a big house, right?
Yeah, 10 Reasons Why I Hate You.
Okay.
Anyone that has seen it, hold on, I'm gonna send you a picture real quick. Anyone that has seen the movie, it's like a scene where they're in the party. The main character of the movie, the girl, she loosens up, gets a little drunk. The size of that house in the movie was basically the same as the one me and my friends went to. And it was like, it was one of those parties where you don't even have to know the person that started it. It was kind of like just invite whoever you want. And that's how I ended up showing up. Because the only person that had a connection with the person, I'm saying person a lot. The only dude that knew the other guy that was actually doing the party, that was it. It was the junior. And then from there, the junior invited sophomore, and then there, I was invited. And, pull up, everything's chilling and whatnot, shabingles, and I sit. I'm only gonna explain one half of this story, and then the other half I'll save for another day.
Okay.
Pull up to the party, sit on the couch, and it's me in the middle. I'm the smallest person. I got guy number 1, guy number 2, and guy number 3. Guy number 1 was the dude that drove us. Guy number 2 is like some really buff bodybuilder, powerlifter dude. Guy number 3 is gonna be the main guy in the story. Me, guy 1 and 2, we are just chillaxing on one of the couches in the house, drinking some sody pop, and I'm being. I actually don't want to say that. I'm being a bad influence and drinking Coca-Cola past my bedtime. Is that,
No.
dude? Dude, when I tell you I couldn't sleep, dude. Like, dude.
Dude.
Yeah, we were just all drinking soda, and guy number 3, he comes from the upstairs, and he says, "Hey, guys, by the way, if you." I'm just gonna say it like my point of view. If you guys want any alcoholic beverages, they are upstairs to the left. And then guy number 1, he says, I can't. He's designated driver. Guy number 2 says, I'm not really trying to do that tonight. And then spotlight goes on to me. I said, I don't plan on doing any of that stuff. And he goes, you sure, man? You sure? It's almost like he's trying to peer pressure me into doing something I don't want to do. I don't personally flip with people like that crazy, but especially because I didn't really know the guy. I only knew guy number one and two, but guy number three, he was just a neutral friend. Like we both knew guy number two, and that's how we know each other now. But you know, being offered it once and saying no, fine, but constantly asking and just like trying to make someone do something they don't want to do. That's kind of crazy, bro. So I'm staying my ground. You know, I just say, I gotta go pee pee, not poo poo. I just pee pee, and then I go up, go use the restroom, just to honestly get away from the guy. I come back a good 5 minutes later, to same couch, same people, same everything, and guy number three comes back again, more tipsy than the last time. This guy has like three red solo cups stacked on top of each other. And then I say, why do you have so many cups? And he says, oh, because they're for different beverages. And then he drinks, he puts like his mouth over all three like lids. And it's because he has like three different drinks in all of them. I don't even know what he was doing at that point. But that's when I tell guy number one, the designated driver, if we could skedaddle, because I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Especially because from like two rooms over us, I can like start smelling smoke. So I know someone smoking upstairs. Guy number two points out, oh, they're smoking, insert drug name. And I'm like, I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to secondhand smoke. I don't want to constantly smell alcohol. Can we please skedaddle? And guy number one says, I can't. Like he has to wait for the other two dudes. So I just sit outside on the curb. And then I remember I got a friend near here that lives near there. I said that weird. And, I just go to their house. And like the nerds we are, we just played Smash Bros. Not smashing the bro, but
Okay, okay.
see,
You didn't.
that
You see, you didn't even
that
have to bring it up. You didn't have
that
to bring it up.
that got your attention now, didn't it?
No, no.
I got a
Like,
response out of you. I knew it.
no,
So
because you didn't have to bring it up. You just could have said, yeah, we just played Smash Bros. Not smashing my bro, of course. We
it
just played
got a
Smash
response out of you. That's all I wanted.
Bros. Why?
You're being too quiet. But
Story time.
that happened 3 hours later. It is 2 a.m. And I finally get a text from guy number one saying, we're about to leave. Where are you? I gotta quickly run back to the spot. And that's it. We just all go home. And then it's like I sat in the front this time because I was sitting in the back. It was like shotgun or something. That's how they did that. But I begged them, bro. I literally begged them to sit in the front so I could like have the window open and just like kind of have my head out. I didn't want to smell all the smoke. I didn't want to smell the alcohol. And I don't know. They were just kind of bugging me about it, about like why not. And I just kept saying the same thing over and over again, like I just don't want to. And like this one guy I know, a neutral friend, he was vaping. We were all just sitting at Wendy's. He offers it to me. I say no, I can't. And he says, why? I say I just don't want to. And he respected that answer and he never brought it up again, which is fine. And I even brought it up to him and I said, hey, by the way, when you do that, do you mind like turning your head away or blowing the smoke another direction? And he goes, yeah, bro, I got you. That is the correct response, which is, I'm very happy for that. To this day, we're not exactly friends, but we just know each other. But whenever we're in the same vicinities, and he remembers it every time he does it, turns away. That is why he is the only addicted goat I know. Everyone else is a fiend. What would you have done in this situation, E-Man?
Not go out.
Hmm?
Not go out.
Oh, not go out?
Not go out.
Yeah, I don't know
Sleep
how.
is like one of the most important things to me. Just because I'm always working out every day, and then plus academics.
Academic prowess.
Yeah. Also, I don't like parties, especially with people that I don't know. Like, if there's not like
Like,
how you said, like it's like you invite who you want type party.
yeah,
If there's not gonna be that many people that I know or
you're
are
not gonna
friends with,
show up.
I'm not gonna show up.
Yeah. I
'Cause
was.
it's not gonna be a fun time, to be honest, for me.
Yeah.
Was
I
it fun?
just. It was fun. Because when I showed up, there were actually more people that I knew than I expected. Because when I asked, like, I did the same thing. I do the same thing where I asked, like, who's gonna be there. They said a few names that I didn't know. So there was maybe like 5 or 6 people I knew other than the people I came with. So I was fine with it. And then there were even more people that I knew. So overall, it was a good time. It was just those like few things that I didn't really flip with a whole bunch.
Hmm.
So yeah. And then yeah, normally I don't do that in terms of partying, but the day it was summertime, no school, no homework. I don't have a book to read or something. I don't read books. I'm dyslexic. Those are for losers, anyways.
100%. 100%.
And
Yeah, you're coping right now. It's for losers, man.
this is whatever. And the next day was gonna be a rest day, anyways. So I was just really thinking, like, why wouldn't I go? And my statement to everybody is that if you go to sleep at around 12 a.m., don't do anything past 11 or 10. Because that's when I normally fell asleep just from like physically being tired. It was around 12 or 1. But after that party, my I've been consistently going to sleep for about a month and a half now at like 3 a.m. and waking up at 11. And school starts in 2 days from
Okay,
the
here's the
time of
plan.
recording.
It's gonna suck.
No, I woke up really
You
early
just
today.
you gotta just yeah. It's either that
Or you
you
stay up
gotta
all
pull
night.
an all nighter. Yeah.
Exactly. See, but like I missed the one chance of waking up super early when it was a rest day. Because my plan is to just keep setting a bunch of timers, like in the moment, not having a bunch of timers lined up. So I would wake up like 10 minutes later. I'm like, 5 more minutes. And then I would like physically set the timer for 5 minutes. But the only bad thing about that yesterday was that I forgot to press start on one of the timers and I ended up waking up at 12 p.m. again. And it's not like I could undo that now, but today I fell asleep at like 2 something. I forced myself to wake up at like 9, 7 hours of sleep. Not even that bad, to be honest. I'm just kind of missing out on 1 hour, which I'll end up like evening out over time. But I mean, yeah, I worked out my back and forearms today. It still went fine. So, not a big loss. If you were Helen Keller, would you kill yourself?
Okay, you're gonna steal my thing.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
I know.
Okay.
And I took it.
The thing. Okay. Now I can put my phone down and actually pay attention, right? And stop playing Block Doku.
YouTube, please don't strike me down like Zeus.
Right.
Hold on,
the
I gotta explain it to YouTube. This is not an offensive matter. This is only a theoretical situation. Sorry, my father walked in. This is only a theoretical situation that if we were in the position of Helen Keller, what would we have done?
Okay, so here's the thing, right? At first, the question for me was,
Wow, you seem
is
really
Helen,
focused on this conversation now.
huh?
You seem really focused on this conversation now.
Why?
Just,
What do you
just,
mean?
just continue with your point.
Originally, the question for me is, does Helen Keller even exist? Because
What does that mean?
no, because you're blind, you're deaf, and like so much more things, and you expect me to believe somebody was that, wrote books, and
Oh,
drove planes, and to me that was unrealistic. So like I went on Instagram, and then I asked like a few smart people. I put it on my notes. Do you
wait,
believe Helen Keller's real?
hold on. You went to Instagram to find an answer to a question.
Stupid question. Stupid
Email.
people.
Oh, you make okay.
And also like the more smarter people I know,
Mhm.
I know them from Instagram. Not from Instagram, but like that's the only way I have to contact them.
Mhm.
And then like pray and you shall receive type thing, right?
Mhm.
Like somebody like messaged me, we had a good talk about it. It's like, okay, you expect me to believe somebody who was born blind, deaf, blah 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 blah, at like 18 months old, and she did all this, and she says, well, yeah, the difference is that she was born with it. She never had it to begin with. If I were to become Helen Keller
Oh
as of
yeah,
this moment,
that's real.
I would kill myself. Right? Oh
I
my
nah.
gosh.
Okay,
Right?
but you would only do it in Minecraft.
Of course, like I would
No,
break bedrock and void,
I
right?
get what you mean. It's like I saw this one video about two blind people, one born blind and one that became blind, and they were just talking about the dreams they have, right? The blind person, obviously never seeing the world before, he talked about how his dreams are usually just like heightened senses of where it's like him in a field with like his body laid out, feeling the grass and stuff. And then the person that became blind, she talked about how she would have dreams like with her family, like doing just everyday actions with the ability to see. But she said that she was scared because if she ever got her sight back, she wouldn't know what to expect because she lost her sight 20 years ago. So she kind of almost broke down. Actually, I won't even say that because I don't really remember what happened in the video, but she just said how she would kind of be sad because all of a sudden, if she was able to see again, you know, she could feel like the wrinkles on her face and stuff. So it's kind of like if an Olympian, a track runner Olympian, lost all their limbs, what are they gonna do?
Because the thing is, like, for Helen Keller, that's all she's ever known in like
Hmm.
while being conscious. So she learned how to deal with it. Well, for us, we would just lose what feels like everything to us, and we would only have so much to rely on.
Hmm.
Compared to her, she feel she didn't know it at the time. She started learning
Hmm.
everyone else wasn't like this until like she actually realized and like people told her like we could see, by the way. It's like she's gonna probably ask, well, what is seeing to begin with, because you don't even know what it's like. You've never had that experience before.
I
Kind of like
just
how you're never okay, what was that?
I just thought about how you would describe seeing to a blind person.
Yeah, well, it's also kind of similar to how would you how would you explain what it's like to be happy to someone who's never been sad before, you know?
What?
you
Oh, because
you
they're
only
always feeling happy.
you would not exactly, like that's all they've ever felt. If you've never felt sad, then
I just kill
how would
just
you
kill
know
a
you're
family
happy?
member that they love, and then they'll feel sadness.
Okay, then how would you explain sadness to someone who's always okay? The
You,
opposite then.
how do you explain happiness to someone that's always sad? You describe how it feels not to jump into the void in Minecraft every single day.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm really not trying to
Well,
get this video taken down and describing everything
I
the
got
best I
you.
can because this is probably
Yeah,
the weirdest topic we've brought up since
yeah. I don't
last
know. It's just
episode.
like something I was thinking about because like, wow,
Okay, I still
that's
have my
crazy.
taste buds. So I like hold on, this is a
Describe
thing.
salt to someone who doesn't have taste buds.
Okay, but Helen Keller had case buds, but it was something my grandpa and my great grandpa kind of swore by. Not exactly that, but it's something they would do in the scenario, right? They're terminally ill and they lost their taste buds. They would pull the plug right then and there. Because in their eyes, the last the last resort of per se happiness or joy when they're terminally ill is taste. You know, you can still eat your favorite foods. You can still try the continental breakfast at the hotel or something. I don't know. But that was a pretty valid point that I had never thought about until I learned that my grandpa, my great grandpa did like would do that because they're both healthy, alive, kicking it. Grandpa's like 70, is 70 something. Great grandpa's 90 something. Crazy. I'm pretty sure he was there when doctors prescribed smoking as a health benefit. So that means if I take a bunch of anabolic steroids, I'll still live to at least 80.
Mhm.
You get my train of thought there,
Yeah.
but I think that that's something I would go by too if I was Helen Keller. You know, as long as I have my taste buds, I don't need to see the food and like I don't need to see the food or hear my loving mother's voice or the Trent twins screaming at each other. I would just eat the foods I love to eat and
Yeah.
probably become kind of obese. But, you know,
You said something like happiness or like the last thing they want would be like the only thing that's making them happy is like food, right?
hmm
Do you believe in an afterlife? Or do you believe in eternal happiness once you die?
I don't. This is completely off topic of what this was originally based off
Well,
of. No,
yeah,
it's fine. It's
that
fine.
this is
It's
it's
completely
just
fine.
like what made me think about it.
You know, I'll
Like,
call
cause
this
like
part 1.5.
that's been on like the me
No,
thinking
yeah,
about like my religion, like
it's completely fine.
personally religion,
Uh
like questioning like, do I really believe in an afterlife? Because to me, like, if I don't question it, then I don't feel that I'm truly gonna be able to believe in it. Right?
hmm
So I'm now thinking to myself, do I really believe in an afterlife? Because to me, if always gonna be happy, I feel like that eventually it's gonna be considered like torture to me, just because of like the lack of contrast.
I get it.
Like it's just gonna be hollow and meaningless to me, right?
hmm
And like always being happy, I feel like that's fake as well. Like I don't feel that it's going to I'm actually happy or something like that.
Okay, let me give my standpoint on an afterlife of eternal happiness. I don't believe in eternal happiness because, for example, a relative, for example, let's say they passed away when you were younger. They did very bad things. Like let's give an example of a boy and his father did some very bad war crimes. This is not my personal experience. I'm trying to give a good example here. He loved his father so dear much whenever he died, he cried endlessly. And then eventually, when he died and he moved to heaven, because he didn't want to, he wanted to live a better life than his father. Because his father had to do some very heinous things against his own will and out of joy. Let's say his father didn't want to kill people, but he loved torturing them. I would still say that that's someone that would go to a bad after place past death. And the boy did the opposite. He always tried to do good, and he always did good for people, himself, and others. He went to the good place afterlife. He would be sad for the fact that he's not able to see his father even in the eternal afterlife past. So he will not experience eternal happiness, but he might experience overall happiness. He's in a good place. He gets to meet his relatives, this and that, but the person he loved the most, his father, he's still never able to see again. You get my standpoint?
Yeah. I'm just like Googling something to make sure of it before I say it, just so I don't look dumb real quick.
Type
But yeah,
shenanigans.
you keep talking. You keep talking. I'm paying attention because
That's
it made me think of another thing, and I need to ask.
that's my standpoint on eternal happiness. I don't believe in it. There is obviously temporarily happiness, just like going to a water park, theme park. But the moment you leave it, it's kind of all gone. Most people, I think, mainly drug addicts, they find the dopamine spike whenever taking a certain substance is happiness. No offense to people out there that are severely overweight, like people that eat whenever they're coping with something or eating out of stress or boredom. It's that spike of dopamine of doing something or doing something other than dealing with an emotion or something like that, right? I feel like in their mind they would associate eating with happiness. And the moment
Right.
that's gone, the happiness is gone. I think yeah, that's my whole standby with not believing in eternal happiness.
I understand that. Yeah,
And now
that makes sense.
let me go to the afterlife real quick so I could just complete this whole shebingaberry. And I do believe there is a higher power somewhere watching over all of us. And I do think there is a good place, a bad place, and possibly being reincarnated after you pass away, which is scary, bro. You could think about living your life peacefully, and the moment you pass, you go to the happy place, but then what? Like, what are you gonna do? Compared to doing some bad things and leaving your standpoint on earth for the rest of eternity for generations to go, knowing your name, but then you go to the bad place. For example, Al Capone, everybody knows his name, what he's done, and I'm very sure he went to the bad place for crimes he's committed, and just in general. But he's gonna be known for generations as one of the greatest mobsters to ever live. Amen.
Yeah. How do you feel about like the theory of like eternal return? Like you are living out like everybody else's life.
Oh, I think I saw a YouTube video about this where it was
Yeah.
like you die, and then you meet the higher power, and it's kind of just like one soul being recycled, but the memories are always wiped.
Mm-hmm. Something so yeah, yeah, kind
What
of like that.
what do you mean?
How do you feel about it? Like, because to me, it plays an interesting thing for morality that every bad thing you do onto someone else, you're technically doing it to yourself.
Oh,
You know?
that is not what I just explained. That is not what
Oh.
I just explained.
Like
Okay.
you're reliving, or not, you're not reliving, but like
Karma.
you're living everyone's life. Like, let's say I die, and then my next life would be like someone in Asia, or like the next life in blah blah blah. You know?
So we are talking about the same thing.
Oh, wait, what were you talking about?
What you're talking about. You die, we're in the 21st century. You get
Mhm.
reincarnated as like a Vietnamese woman in the 18th century.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm explaining. And I literally used that example from the YouTube video I watched years ago.
That, yeah. Oops. I was 100% paying attention to that then.
So what? You're just asking if I believe
What's
in
your
it?
thoughts on it? No, what's your thoughts on it?
It's weird. You
Weird.
know, especially because like basically every single religion that is of today, it always talks about our souls going up into the better place after passing. That's describing every person has their own soul.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not 100% sure on believing in that because the way it's describing it, it's showing as we share one soul. Like, you get that? As
Yeah.
in me and you are the same person living different lives.
Yeah.
Then you could technically make that as, let's say I'm person number 1. You're person number 2, everyone else is another number. And you could technically call this alternate realities. This is a reality where I'm a boy that likes to work out in this point in time. And then another person is a girl 3 years older that loves to make makeup videos. And she has a career on that. In a way, you
Mhm.
can make it like that. But in an overall point, I'm not sure if I believe in it. What about you, E-Man?
Like, tell me, like, the question. Like, turn into a question.
No, just like the questions you just asked me. Like, what's your point on it? You know,
Uh,
what do you think about first eternal happiness, then an afterlife,
oh,
and then the thing you just described, whatever the
well,
word was.
the eternal return thing.
Yeah. So yeah, first eternal happiness,
Okay.
afterlife, eternal return.
I'll start with eternal return. That one, it's just, I don't 100% believe in it,
Mhm.
but it's always something nice to think about during my free time when I'm bored.
Mhm.
That, imagine that, right? Whatever I do unto others, I'm basically just doing it to myself. So if I punch someone, like maybe me tens of thousands years into the future, into like my thing, I'm punching myself, or like someone just punched me, right?
Yeah.
So that's always fun to like think about, like the different types of interactions that could happen.
Mhm.
Just thinking about that, I could probably last like an hour or two, like just by myself thinking, like what are the different things.
Mhm.
But then eternal happiness for me, that's one of the main things that I never, that kind of like made me question it. And was the first things I would question about like my personal religion, because like I said, if you don't question it, did you really believe in it? Like if you question it and it ends up that you're believing in the answer that you originally stuck to, it's gonna make your belief in it even stronger, right?
Yes.
But eternal happiness, I think it could be real, like complete joy in like
Everything you do.
afterlife. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like maybe just the idea, like how you said, the idea that sad memories I had that happened on Earth, I stay with,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm so happy that, or like I'm so content with my life that it doesn't matter, and it like trumps all sorrow or pain that I went through.
Yeah.
But I still have the memory of it happening to me, so I still am able to feel happiness, right?
Mm-hmm. But it
It's
doesn't
just
last
for
forever.
me. I mean, as long as the memory is still there,
Mm-hmm.
that this is the worst thing, or like the worst thing to happen to me would be like blah blah blah, or like something blah blah blah.
Yeah.
If I keep that memory as I go into the afterlife, I, I believe that my happiness is gonna like continue. If I forget like all the things that bad happened to me, then it's like I'm not gonna be like eventually, like I said, I'm just gonna be like dull.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I thought I thought of another example about eternal happiness where, for example, no matter how you live your life, you're always gonna regret something by the end. You know, it's either in the moment of the action you're regretting it. It's either years later, decades later, you're always gonna regret something. You're always gonna wish you have done something different. And you could say, for example, a hard working dad providing for his family. He's not able to spend time with his kids.
Yeah.
And on his deathbed, no one's there. Because from his kid's standpoint, he never loved he never loved them. So he's
Yeah.
always gonna regret not being able to be there for his kids. Although from the standpoint of a dad that's always there, he would regret, for example, maybe not pushing his kids hard enough. Because what if in the future his kids aren't so successful? Because their dad, was always focused.
Weren't there for them.
Yeah, he was always focused on having fun and living in the moment, never thinking about the future for his kids. You know, I think an overall outcome for basically parents around the world is for their kids not to become homeless or in any kind of financial situation because, for example, that's almost every immigrant parent. They always want their kids to live a better life than what they had.
Yeah.
So everybody's always going to regret at the end of the day. But the way I don't, I think about it as an alternate reality. Me right now, for example, just like eating, you know what I mean? Today, I accidentally grabbed the wrong rice. It was like sour rice. I ended up not eating it because the texture mixed in with like my ground beef and chicken was not good. I almost threw up. I just kind of shoved it aside. I threw it in the trash. I said sorry to myself because I did kind of feel bad for doing it, not finishing the food. But then I thought about an alternate reality me just pushing through it and eating the food. And then just from like that standpoint, not regretting what I haven't done, but simply just thinking about an alternate me that did the action that I didn't choose. Like, if I never worked out, if I never cared how my body looked, how would I look right now? Those are those are things I do think about kind of frequently sometimes. And E-Man's gonna be back. He's gonna be back. I'm just gonna keep yapping. Those are things I think about probably more often than I should. And I know E-Man isn't here right now, but I'm just gonna talk like I'm talking to whoever's watching this. And I'm gonna circle back to the afterlife real quick. When I was really young in like elementary school and stuff, I would always think about the afterlife and I would cry myself to sleep when I was so young because I was always thinking about how one day my mom's gonna die, my dad's gonna die, I'm gonna die, my brother's gonna die. And I didn't really believe in an afterlife then. I didn't believe in that stuff because I tried being a smartass back then and say it to myself like, oh, how did Adam and Eve exist if evolution's a thing? Like that like stupid stuff that I didn't fully grasp back then. So that was a common train of thought for me. Just thinking like one day I'm gonna die in a hospital or anywhere, anytime, and it's just gonna be nothing. It's like the same thing you see when you close one eye. You don't see black, but you just see nothing. And it's just one of those things I kind of regret that I always used to think like that. Like, oh, nothing matters. We're all going to die one day. Instead of trying to be a better me, smarter me, hopefully somewhere along the line inspiring someone younger than me to do better than what I did. And at recess, again in elementary, I would always sit on the bench. And every time the teachers would ask me, I would just say I'd rather be inside doing nothing because we're all going to die. And this one teacher, Mrs. Jones, she told me one day you're going to regret this. And I do. Kinda. I don't know. Just like not doing something with the time I had during recess. Even though in the grand aspect, it's a small thing. That was a small portion of my life. But I look back on it more often than most people do because they spent the time doing what they want instead of thinking about the time they don't have. So that's kind of how I live today. In the moment, thinking about my future, but not thinking about what I will be in the future. Not thinking about what I'll become in the future. Just making sure I make the right choices for me and what I stand by or believe in without regretting. E-Man?
Yeah. No, I was just like taking it in. Like, yeah.
Well, we got a few seconds left here. You want to end it off with a quote, something?
No, I think I do prefer these types of videos more though.
Yeah.
Just because like the conversation's not dry.
Yeah. Well, goodbye. Subscribe.
So depressing.
Subscribe.
So depressing.
Go to the gym. Try not to regret in your life. Love your parents. Try to respect what you have and not what you don't. Goodbye.